Okay, y'all, so I wanted to show this video of an interview from a channel that has been doing a lot of interviews in Skid Row. He did an interview on an isolated family that they look to be very inbreded in genetics. So it was just very different to see those kind of people that they do exist in the mountains. And I was also concerned about the homeless that are in Skid Row during this whole epidemic, and his videos on interviewing people in Skid Row really caught my attention because his videos look to be very recent. So you see right here there's a lot of videos that he interviews prostitutes, and I'm noticing that a lot of the girls that he interviews that are prostitutes, well, I haven't seen every single one, but some of them, these girls look like minors, like they look very young, right? But he's interviewing and he doesn't really go into detail sometimes, and I was thinking it, but I wasn't really trying to be right. Like, I'm thinking like, no, I'm just probably reaching. And there's this interview where he interviews this girl that she goes by China, and as I was reading the comments, my thoughts were almost confirmed. So this girl that he's about to interview, she is saying how she's a prostitute. She even calls herself that. And evidently, it turns out that she is a missing child and that she's only 13 years old. And a lot of people are in the comments calling out the guy from the channel to keep an update. And look, there's even the mother of this girl, this her mother is even in the comments saying how she's missing, and her comment was not highlighted or anything by the channel guy. And see, this is what she says: I am her mother and I am alive. I taught her the right way. I can't believe this. She was raised in Kansas. I took her to Cali to take her to the famous dance school and to help her pursue her dreams. Everything she's saying is a lie. Her dad is alive and loves her very much. Her little sister is right here next to me, loved. I am everything I wanted her to be. She chose the streets when she didn't have to. I am a celeb DJ and a traveling hairstylist. Google me. I'm DJ uh, Mesmerize is Nina Patterson, aka Pharaoh, mother of Harmony and Lyric. She is only 13, and everything she is saying in this video is a lie. Lord, if you can help me, guidance on how to save my daughter, please let me know. This hurts more than 20 bullets to my heart. I have done my best by her. Oh my God, please somebody help me. Please somebody help. And this was her mom commenting a month ago, saying how she was lying, because in the interview she was saying how her dad was locked up and how that her mother died. And I think this is happening a lot with girls from other states. There's YouTube channels and the truth community that are persuading girls to come to Cali. And in the Hollywood side, there's a lot of, like, I believe it's like handlers, but they look like gangsters. And these girls from other states, they come and they are so new to the fast lifestyle here in Cali that they're not able to handle it, and I think they fall for these traps. And she has no idea what she's actually part of, which is child trafficking ring. And it's just very sad. And to see that the channel doesn't really didn't really help the mother out, like by at least giving some highlight to the comment of her mother. And this also kind of reminds me of that one law that was passed in Cali where they uncriminalize the John Doe that are picking up the underage girls that are prostituting themselves. They decriminalize it, and their excuse into saying that is that in order for the John Doe to actually be arrested, the victim, if she calls herself a victim of child trafficking, because that's what they're doing to her by, you know, the pimp that's telling her to do this, whether she's saying yes or no, she's still a minor, so she doesn't know any better. So her young age is being taken advantage of by her state of mind of not being capable of understanding what is being done to her. So that is still some sort of abuse. So this law is very tricky. It doesn't criminalize the John Doe until the child trafficking, but they convinced her, so she's very brainwashed, so she doesn't realize that. Let me play.
All right, China. China, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Oakland.
Oakland? Mm-hmm. And tell me about your family. You had both your parents when you grew up?
My mom died around when I was like 7. She died because my dad was beating on her and stuff, beating her up, and he ended up killing her, so now he's in jail for life. So really, I had to go on my own and do everything on my own, starting at 13, 16 now. Been doing this 3 years.
You started working the streets at 13? And who raised you?
Who raised me? My uncle.
Your uncle?
So I was out here starting from 13 to now.
That they're going to start granting laws because of these girls that want to be living a fast life, and they are still minors and they're getting taken advantage of because of the state of mind that they're in, which is still an underage person. And what's interesting is the focus on calling them prostitutes when some of them look like minors. And I wonder if he's doing this just because they're brown girls, but I don't want to get into the whole brown thing, but you know.
All right, Ivy. Ivy, where are you from originally? Where'd you grow up?
Pasadena, California.
Pasadena. And tell me about your childhood. You had both your parents when you were a kid?
No, I never knew my dad. I grew up with my mom. I was the last of 5. And I was kind of the only one that really stayed with her.
How was your childhood?
It was cool. My mom kept me out of like the drama, the limelight, until I was like 16, and then I started doing my own thing. Cause yeah, all my brothers.
This is a really tricky channel because I think that there is like real victims and real homeless people, but I feel like they're also putting minors, young girls that are minors, and they're deliberately calling them prostitutes, and this would go together with that one law that they're trying to, or I think they already approved in 2017, where it decriminalizes the John Doe until the underage girl goes and decides to prosecute against him. If she doesn't prosecute against him, then she's not considered a victim. She's considered a prostitute. And that's what this videos, that's what they kind of remind me of.
You grew up?
My mom died around when I was like 7. She died because my dad was beating on her and stuff, beating her up, and he ended up killing her, so now he's in jail for life.
It's like you always notice that these people, when they talk about these things, they're always smiling and stuff, and they have this look on their eye, like they got this look like they want to laugh, but they're not. They're trying so hard not to laugh. And the story she gives right now is kind of like the same sob story that a lot of celebrities would say in their interviews, like kind of like when Tekashi tries to say that he came from an immigrant family and that he was poor. When they give these sob stories, this is their way of relating themselves to a lot of kids and young people that are going through those circumstances. And when they listen to these interviews from celebrities that have money now, they think, well, if I go through that similar struggle and I put myself in those shoes, then I should gain some sort of wisdom from that. And they end up falling for these traps that are psyops set up by the government to keep bringing kids in the foster system, and from the foster comes a lot of the child trafficking and abuse from actual very smart and talented kids, because a lot of the children that are born from those drug addict parents, those parents were actually targeted for sometimes being the smartest kid in the class. And that's another thing that it's not really talked about, are the racist teachers that sign up to be teachers in sanctuary cities, to be witches and warlocks to brown gifted children. They literally go to be teachers, and they target those brown kids that are gifted, and they try to label them with ADHD and things like that, so that they can go back to the same routine of somehow putting them in the foster system, and then they'll force the mother into medicating them and pressure her into doing those things. And if not, they do the same cycle to her, unless our people know that these things are going on and that our own people are in on it sometimes. Like, I don't know if I'm wondering, did she become part of it later on when she decided to leave? Because there's parts where in this video she mentions where she has to go work at, and she mentions some names of streets, like if she wants to be found. But then it's like, I have a feeling she was obligated to do this video, because I'm not trusting this guy interviewing these girls and calling them prostitutes when some of them are clearly minors. And oh yeah, and then another thing too is, when I was listening, there's a part where you can hear a girl in the background scream for help, which is completely out of the blue, just to make matters worse. Watch, I'll play it right now.
So really, I had to go on my own and do everything on my own, starting at 13, 16 now. I've been doing this 3 years.
You started working the streets at 13? And who raised you?
Who raised me? My uncle.
Your uncle?
So I was out here starting from 13 to now, raised in the Nickerson Gardens.
Yeah, South Central LA.
Projects.
So you're 16 now?
Yeah.
And so you're working Figueroa Street?
Yeah, I work Figueroa. I don't work it as much, but I work almost like every night, every day. It's a struggle. Like, I would want to get out of this, like, so bad. It's a lot that comes with you working on Fig. You're risking your life every day. So it's like, I don't know. I'm going to make something out of myself one day, though.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to make something out of myself one day, though.
That's good. You're in school still?
No, I graduated because I did homeschool. So I graduated already.
So you're 16, but you graduated high school already? Mm-hmm. You're a good student?
Yep, I wanted to graduate early because I know what I do, and I can't do that at the same time, and I'm not going to be a fail in life because I want to work on FIG, you know, so I had to do both at the same time, and that's what I did. And
see, so right now she's trying to say, like, go ahead, you can go to school and be a prostitute all you can and all you want. I did it, you can do it too. That's what this whole thing is right now, along with the hand symbolism and how it's looking around and whatnot. It's very
yeah,
demonic.
it got me somewhere though.
So your childhood sounds very rough because you lost your parents.
Yeah.
How was it after your dad went to prison and you lost your mom?
It was hard because even though,
Like, I really think that the person of this channel is somehow in talk with the pimp of this girl, and even though she's part of the interview and she gives a little bit of detail to maybe if she might be if she could possibly be found. So she's doing what they brainwashed her to do, but she gives a little bit of info now and then he directs it with a different question.
my mom and dad used to fight a lot, I was so close with my dad, and I was so close with my mom. If my mama didn't have it, my daddy did. If my daddy didn't have it, my mama did. So it was like, it hurt me to see both of them leave me. It was like, what am I going to do now? And I got little sisters that I have to raise. I got brothers that I got to raise. I got a kid.
And the mom already commented on the channel that none of this is true, that she got taken care of really well. But I'm going to show you the part where you can hear, well, I hear this girl in the background scream for help. Watch, it's right here. It's like around 9 minutes.
Little sister, and she's doing it too. It's like, dang, I could have taught her way much more and just, you know, because I was in group homes and stuff too. I would run away from group homes just to, you know, work. But as soon as I got out of that group home stuff, it was like, God was like, he was punishing me in many different ways, and it was just crazy because it was like,
See, you heard that?
taught her way much more and just, you know, because I was in group homes and stuff too. I would run away from group homes just to, you know, work. But as soon as I got out of that group home stuff, it was like, God was like, he was punishing me.
It's weird, huh? How she mentions God. God was like, and then they hear this girl in the background scream for help. But they just pretend like nobody heard that.
It's just to, you know, work. But as soon as I got out of that group home stuff, it was like, God was like, he was punishing me in many different ways, and it was just crazy because it was like my sister don't think I love her because of the stuff that I did. She don't think I love her. Me going out on FIG every night, she don't think I love her. I wasn't spending time with her as much as I used to. Nothing was the same. So then she started doing it, and now she think it as, oh, I'm with my sister now. But no, like, I don't even want her doing this. And I tell her that all the time, but I know I didn't listen. You can't get somebody that don't listen to listen if they, you know, it's not gonna work. So I tried my best, you know, to give her money instead of her working for it as best as I can. So.
How old is your sister?
She's 14.
She's working. Do you think you're addicted to the fast money?
Yeah, I am.
The lifestyle of this is so tempting, right?
It's real tempting because it's fast. It come up fast, and if it's slow, it'll pick up. That's why you keep regulars. Regulars, all you gotta do is call them. Come get me on FIG, money, walk. You never know how much you can get.
Do you ever look back at your situation and just think, man, this is crazy that I'm doing this?
Yeah, because
It's dangerous.
before I was doing all this, I was still going through depression. I was going through suicide.